As you can tell, I'm a little disheveled today, but that's okay. I'm extremely excited. I got my Wilwood brakes in, and being that you see two boxes here, I've got front and rears. I've got 6 pistons all the way around the 4-rotor, because if I'm going to be putting whatever, 1,200 horsepower up the wheels, I need to be able to stop 1,200 to the wheels. Considering I've never ordered a brake kit before, and then I go all out, I figured it'd be kind of cool to do a unboxing video. So if you've ever wondered what comes with a brake kit, here we go. This is, I started opening one box, and then Leah started yelling at me, realizing that this could be an opportunity to show people what it's like. So here we go, an unopened box of brake rotors and whatnot. Now if you see the address on the screen, that's my office address, so you can firebomb it or whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. For those people that get worried to see my address on on a video. Okay. So, not relevant. Of course. Details on how to not die. I don't know what this is. It might just be empty box. Oh, there are all my hopes and dreams. I found them. This is one of the most important parts to this kit for me, because those of you that might be familiar with brakes, let me open it first. So I'm custom building my spindles. So the part of the wheel, or the hub, I guess you call it, that connects to this, I have to machine out of out of aluminum. So these holes and the offset, this is a very, very important piece. This is for a Corvette, by the way. All 4 of these wheels are for front of a Corvette. Let's see. Rotor mounting head. Now this is also a very important piece of it, because you see how flat this is? The brake rotor is going to sit here. So I have very low profile brakes. Instead of on the RX-7 or most cars, this hub sticks out like a big mountain. This is very flat and very low offset. It's actually beautiful too. Okay. So considering that this is one kit, there's going to be 2 of everything, for 2 front wheels. What's this? That's nice and heavy. This feels like Christmas. It feels very much like Christmas. Okay. Now, looking at this kit, this is actually, call it overkill, but this is my rear wheel brake calipers. Still a 6 piston on the rears as well as on the front. I'm gonna be spending some time balancing, the whole braking out, because you have too much in the rear, you're gonna lock up the rear tires quicker. It's all about balance. But this should go into there, or maybe even better. Yeah. There we go. Now, here we go. This is the part I wanted to see since the moment I pressed buy. Is the screws. No, just kidding. Brake pads. We'll take a look at those in a second. I'm more excited about the actual rotors. How the hell am I supposed to get that out? Whoa, this is one of the reasons I went with Wilwood. They're 1.5 inches thick, or inch and a quarter. I can't be saying the wrong numbers. They're 1.25 inches thick rotors. And again, before I unbox them, these are the rear. That's my rear brake rotor. It's 13, I think, and a half, something along those lines. 13 and a quarter. I decided, wow, sorry. I decided to go with slotted instead of cross-drilled, even though cross-drilled looks beautiful. It's taking away mass from the actual rotor, and because I'm going to be doing speeds well over 200 miles an hour, this I prefer more mass and the capability of not overheating your brakes when you need to slam on them. Something like that. Damn. So one of the reasons I went with the 13-inch brake, because I was thinking about doing 14-inch rotors all the way around. One of the reasons I went with the 13, is because I want to be able to put 17-inch tires, 17-inch diameter wheels on the back if I'm going to be doing any sort of drag racing. Because it's once you have a 14-inch brake rotor, you can only do an 18-inch wheel. Otherwise, it's not the rotor; it's the caliper that can hit the inside of the tire. So this is just the beginning of stopping the four-rotor train. Let's open up the front ones and compare the size. So if you thought these were big, and they are, they're a front brake kit for a 2008 Z06 Corvette. This is a 13 and 0.05 front rotor. But check this out. This is a 14-inch front disc rotor. So this is the difference between my front wheels and my rear wheels. This allows me to run a 17-inch wheel. This allows me to run an 18. It's not until there, I'll hold it back here the same. You can see that extra inch of diameter. If this does not stop my car, nothing will, except for a parachute. Now this is the whole purpose of this whole kit. I forgot to check these out. I got so excited about all the hardware. There are the brake pads. Nothing too crazy. I'm sure they're decent quality, but that's what's going to be right inside of there. So what you can see is this is the Corvette Wheel Hub here. They look almost identical. All the measurements are identical, but I had to invent this, the wheel hub. So keeping that in mind, I had to try and estimate how far this goes in and out, because remember the brake rotor sits on top of this, and this sits a certain distance from the brake rotor because the caliper plugs in here. So it was very difficult before I got these parts to estimate how far down this surface has to be. Now you can err a little bit going that way. If you're in a rush and don't have the parts in time, you can err on pushing that further and then using like a washer or two at worst. I mean, the further you get, the more structural integrity you lose. But yeah, this is my first time on camera. This is my first time of seeing the real parts match up with my calculations. So fortunately, this is already being machined, so I would be screwed if they didn't add up. And they do. We're in good shape. As you can tell, the project we're about a month or 29 days away from the launch date of SEMA. It's taking a toll on me. I'm stressed physically, mentally. It's certainly it's not a simple drop-in engine build, and I wouldn't do it any other way. But I want to share with you that we'll be kind of going backwards with all these videos after I release the big news. But here's a little bit of a hint. The whole reason that I have Corvette-based brakes in an RX-7, which by the way throws off the bolt pattern, is because of a Corvette Wheel Hub. Now, this is the wheel hub we're using on all 4 tires. It's a very nice wheel hub, and because I'm completely custom suspension. If I've mentioned it briefly, I'll just straight up say it. The whole suspension right now is being machined. It's influenced by a very, very famous design and ultimately built by me. So if the car crashes or if it breaks a lower control arm at SEMA and just falls to the ground, that's this guy's fault. You talk about bought, not built, or built, not bought. I don't know if you can get any more built than this car. I'm literally involved in every aspect of it. The design, we just came up with a final design of the car, as well as the suspension and how the car handles. So I'll be sharing all of that after the car launches, so I can, because I'm, you know me, I love to share every bit of detail. But this is that little hint. This is the core of why I have Corvette brakes. As for the brakes, they're not going to be the only thing stopping the car, because I'll be doing up to 250 miles an hour. The car will need a parachute, keep me a little bit safer. I'll break some top speed records, or at least die trying. Now, again, I'm using all 4 wheels have 6-pot or 6-piston brakes, which means that I'm going to have to balance them out by hand, because if you're not familiar with how brakes work, there's a maximum, obviously, before the tire locks up. Well, as a car brakes, the front wheels get more weight of the vehicle, meaning that more of the stopping power is capable of being done in the front. The weight kind of works with it, which takes the weight off the rear tires, which makes them easier to slide, which is why, even though these are massive and beautiful and all that, they're not as effective as a solid front brake. So it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look wonderful at SEMA. Got the tires picked out. They're being machined now as well. So tons of major updates. This is my little hint, and these are my big breaks.